What is up, everybody? Justin with the Real Alaska Podcast, and I am here with Kari.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's Friday.
It is. It has been a big week, too.
Yeah. So I guess tell us a little bit about you and kind of who you're with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Kari Skinner, and I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Northrim Bank.
Awesome. I love Northrim Bank.
It is a great local company to work for.
Yeah. I mean, I all my accounts are over there, come out all my business stuff, right? And partially because, my wife works there, so I didn't have much of an option.
Well, that's happened sometimes, but, we'll still take you.
Yeah. But it was it's been an amazing experience so far. So it's the customer service is amazing.
So that is great to hear because that's something we really pride ourselves on is providing superior customer first service. The bank started in 1990.
Okay.
And kind of after some of the big banks failed in the recession of the 80s, our founders really wanted to build a community bank that was based on customer service. And so being able to still provide that 30 plus years later is phenomenal. And we hear from customers all the time that the customer service is excellent.
Yeah. You guys have been growing like a weed.
We have, and we're still growing.
I know.
Yeah. So in 2020, we opened, right at the start of the pandemic, a lending office in Kodiak.
Okay.
And so that's really exciting to be kind of expanded in that direction. And then just in the next couple weeks, we're going to be opening a lending office in Nome, Alaska.
Awesome. Is that, what kind of lending? Is that just kind of like banking, like business banking or?
Yeah, so when we open a lending office, it's not a full branch,
right.
And so no deposits, but really building those business relationships. There's a lot of lending needs in some of those communities, and so we're there to be able to facilitate those. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I just got back from Nome. I was there. We sponsored the Iditarod too, and so I got to see Brent Sass come in on Tuesday morning. It was a blur of time because you're waiting for him to come in, and you're refreshing the tracker,
right?
But you don't really know when he's coming in,
right.
So you're kind of staying up late. So it was hard to know
because they come in at all hours.
All
of the day.
hours,
You're
yeah.
like, 3:30 in the morning. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, but the Iditarod is really great because it's such a Alaskan tradition. Kind of the hearty spirit, and the tenacity of all of the mushers, and that's resonates with us as being proud to be Alaskan. So it's kind of a very cool sponsorship to be part of.
Yeah, it's like a world-renowned race that gets followed by so many people from across many countries, right?
Yeah,
even the racers come from multiple countries.
Yeah, I think there were somebody from Japan, Denmark, Norway, and maybe even South Africa this year.
That's crazy.
So it's pretty crazy. The cool thing about that is the logistics of it all.
Yeah. Right?
And so just understanding how they get everything from Anchorage to Nome and all points in between is really fun to watch and be part of. Yeah.
We kind of sponsored the Iron Dog team, Team 5, and had them on the podcast, right? And we had talked about the Iditarod versus Iron Dog, right?
Sure.
And they're like, nope.
Yeah. Same, but no.
I mean, they go down and back, right?
Yeah.
But they're also doing 80 miles an hour on a snow machine.
Yeah.
And not having to take care of dogs and sleep with the dogs and all that. They're like, no, it's not the same.
Yeah.
They're a totally different breed, those mushers, and so, but I mean, still both are incredibly just mentally and physically challenging.
Right. And really Alaskan.
Yes.
Uniquely Alaskan, which is cool. So we give, as part of our Iditarod sponsorship, we give the Northrim Achieve More Award in the community of White Mountain.
Okay.
And White Mountain is about 75 miles from Nome.
Okay.
So in some years, we have flown out there or had a representative snow machine out to White Mountain from Nome to give the award to the first musher who comes in.
That's cool.
And so due to pandemic, we didn't get to go this year, but you talk about snow machine rides and, going, I can't imagine trying to be out there to meet that first musher on a snow machine.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool. I didn't realize you guys did that.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
It is really a cool award because White Mountain as a community, has a lot of ties to the area, and as a community bank, we just feel strongly about helping all of the communities,
right?
And so this is a great way to be able to do that.
Well, it's 100% 907, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Now, as far as, obviously community involvement, I anytime I go to pretty much anything, Northrim Banks is sponsoring it. You guys are just on everything.
So we are doing lots of different things.
Yeah.
So we sponsor the Anchorage Wolverines as one of the sponsors there, which has been really cool to be part of this
Hockey's
year.
Back.
Hockey is back.
Yeah.
The stands are full with fans, which is really fun to see. And, these athletes that are playing in the Wolverines are looking to be seen by that next level, right? And so the hockey is good, and they're playing some really great games. So it's fun to be part of that. It's also really fun when they play like the the Kenai Brown Bears or the Fairbanks Ice Dogs.
Yeah.
So because we have branches in both of those locations too, and so there just kind of gets to be some more fun for our employees when they get to go to those games. And
we went to the Ice Dogs one, and that was I guess the Wolverines, and that was awesome to see. It was really fast paced hockey.
Yeah,
I was like, wow.
Yeah,
these kids are killing it.
It's great. It's really great.
Was Joe kind of the pushing person behind that? I know he loves hockey.
Joe loves hockey, our CEO, and so he definitely had some connections that came to us. But for us, we saw it's an opportunity to help our community. This hockey is an activity that is close to Anchorage's heart, and so being able to help bring it back to the community has really been valuable. And ultimately, both the Iditarod and the Anchorage Wolverines, there's an underlying business that we're helping grow too with our sponsorship. So, that's something that's important for us. We also sponsor the Skinny Raven sports events. So they have a series of runs, and they encourage activity for. You don't have to be a fast runner just to participate in the Skinny Raven events. And so that is, we started sponsoring that last year as we are kind of focused on health and wellness for our own employees and see the value of health and wellness within the community. And so that's been a really fun one to be part of too. There's the Shamrock Shuffle this weekend, and so we'll be out there. We usually get a crew of Northrim employees who some are running, some are walking, and some are at the cheer station.
Right.
So we'll have a cheer station at the top of the West High Pool or West High Hill.
Yeah, because my wife works for Northrim Banks, and she's always putting together a team. Usually some of the team from EV banking or whatever is. They're always, let's go do this run. This is going to be so much fun. And then you see all the pictures of all the Northrim employees kind of, let's go.
Right.
So,
it's super fun to be part of. And, I think, too, it's a great way for team building that happens. So, like this coming weekend, I think one of our branch managers is running, and the rest of his staff is going to go to the cheer station and be there to cheer him on. So, that's fun. It's really kind of cool in that sense. Costumes sometimes, or, people are wearing matching T-shirts. So we really support our employees having a healthy lifestyle and getting, being out and active. We give our employees a park pass every year, so they can go and check out the state parks.
That's cool.
So that's really, a little perk that I don't know if it gets put into the benefits brochure, right? But like those things are really awesome, and we pay then for employees to participate in like the Skinny Raven races or things like that, other events too, from a health and wellness. So
that's awesome. And as far as kind of getting back to business a little bit, I mean, because we touched on community outreach and all that stuff, and you guys obviously do a ton there. Yeah. But obviously you're a business, and so, but Northrim's known as like the business bank. Absolutely. So, because I've got a little bit of an inside scoop, just because
I'm sure you do.
Yana works there, but you guys had a massive play in all the SBA funding, PPP, EIDL funding. So so the Paycheck Protection Program came out, early on in the pandemic, once things were shut down, and so we literally were all hands on deck. So we had people from our IT department that were helping double check numbers, working with our lenders, trying to get as many applications through in that first round. And so we ended up being able to help about 2,900 businesses in round one and close to that number in round two, which was pretty phenomenal for the deadlines that, were there. Right. And then also just from the short amount of time and all the Alaska businesses. And so we had people who, everyone was at home. Everyone was, was working in different locations. We had some people who were, our lenders were still in the office, but, people were working, as as your wife was probably doing, they were working until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then they were back up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and just saying like, if I can just get one more through into the SBA portal, that's one more business that I can help, and just this week I was in Nome, and I met with somebody who, by happenstance, that we did their PPP loans, and she said, I can't thank you enough. It saved my business. 100%.
And that is just a huge feeling. And so now, here we move kind of past PPP, and we still want to make sure that we're connecting with those businesses that we helped, and how can we grow that business with them and continue to provide, that superior customer first service.
So did you guys have a percentage of how many were done by Northrim versus like done total in the state?
I don't know that percentage off the top of my head, but I do know that we were the number one. We did the most for Alaska-based organizations.
That's awesome.
Which was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
we're number one.
It was a, we look back on it now, and it just seems almost implausible for how many that we did. And part of why we were able to do so many, not just because we had all hands on deck and everybody was working towards this one goal, but we also had a really strong IT infrastructure that allowed us to just kind of hit the ground running. So that's something that's been really important to us, all along, is to make sure that we have this IT component and that we're able to do that. So
yeah, I get the inside scoop on that. Some stuff sometimes too.
I imagine, yeah.
Just because Jan tells me about all the back. She nerds out on that stuff, and so I'm like, man, I couldn't do that. Yeah. But she loves it. All the back end fun projects to kind of like, obviously make things more automated and smoother for everyone on Northrim, but also on the customer face as well. And it's been. You guys have had some pretty massive projects come through. We've had some really big improvements. About 5 years ago, we updated kind of our core system, which is like the heart of it all, right? And that kind of has continued to evolve and allowed us to do more and more things. So it made it much easier for us to kind of have this pathway to SBA because we could input everything electronically and
kind of,
Right.
Review and push send and all of that.
Right.
And so that was really great. So it was, a big effort from a PPP, and now we're just continuing to roll forward. And, there's still a lot of needs out there
Right.
in different capacities. And so, we're, as busy as we were then, it feels
Right.
like. And Yana probably feels that too.
I mean, she's always busy.
Yeah.
So, and so, I mean, like I said, I kind of get the inside scoop on kind of some of the growth, right? And back end growth and how much you guys push for like development and moving forward and, trying to obviously improve, the consumer and business and making things more proficient and easier to use and all that. And so it's
really great, kind of how all of that snowballs in a good way, and allows us to continue to be more efficient, and which gives us more time for our customers. We started the bank with, I think it was $9 million in capital, and we're now a $2.3 billion bank. So
just a little bit of growth.
Yeah. So that growth is, of course, due to our employees working so hard and our customers. So, we work really hard to make sure that those stay in balance too.
And I know Northrim not long ago bought Residential Mortgage. So now it's a sister company.
Yeah.
And then you guys do all the AHFC servicing. So that's got to be a big...
It's a big section of our portfolio.
Yeah.
So Residential Mortgage is our wholly owned subsidiary. So they operate as their own, but we're happy to have them as part of us. And then we have the mortgage servicing portfolio, which is also requires a little more back end work, but we're happy to be providing that service to those Anchor in Alaska customers.
Yeah, it's nice to have because AHFC is obviously an Alaska loan corporation, right? And so it's nice to have a local bank servicing an Alaskan product.
Yes.
Because I'm sure most people have experienced servicing by some of the much larger banks, right? Won't mention their names, but sometimes it's very challenging and frustrating.
And what we've heard is that, and what we pride ourselves on is that when the customer calls, they're getting a real person in Alaska.
Right.
Everybody is, from that division is here in Alaska, and so that makes a difference. We are helping our neighbors, literally and figuratively,
right.
As well as those in the community too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
In my role in marketing and communications, it's of course we have the marketing aspect of it, and then we also have communications and community. So the communications and the marketing, how are we talking to our mortgage servicing customers? How are we talking to residential mortgage customers? How are we talking to our business banking customers?
Right.
And then how are we talking to our, our consumer customers? So there's a lot of different audiences that we try and talk to and make sure that we're resonating with.
Right. And you guys are hiring.
We are hiring
someone for...
Yeah, so I'm looking for a residential or a mortgage marketing coordinator, so someone to help on that side. In total, we have about 450 employees between the bank and residential mortgage right now. But I know we're hiring across the board.
Yeah.
So not just me and my department, but across the board we're hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Northrim Banks is a fantastic bank. I think Yana loves working with Northrim. So
it's great. I've been there about 5 years, and I never thought that I would have all of the opportunities that I've had working, in the financial industry. But it's been, really great. Like I was in Nome this week for the Iditarod's finish. I earlier this year went to Yakutat to film a commercial with one of our customers in Yakutat. So we don't even have a branch in Yakutat, and yet we have this phenomenal customer.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure we told that story. That is the Yakutat Tribal Health Clinic.
Well, that's cool.
So that was super fun.
Yeah.
And then, any during the day, we're working on our annual report. So we have design work, and just it's a variety of things. And I think many in the bank would say they have, they wear many hats throughout the day because we're a little bit smaller, but we're doing big things.
Yeah. You don't realize you're a small bank.
Yeah. We don't picture ourselves
No.
as a small bank.
No.
But in terms of actual employees,
right?
Number of employees, we're a little bit smaller than some of the other institutions in town. But yeah, we're doing big things, and we have really sophisticated products and services, as you know, both from using them and from hearing about them probably at home. And so being able to offer those sophisticated products and services really help us compete with those national competitors. So we can provide, really intricate treasury management services, or account analysis or things of that nature, depending on the business and the customer, that some people might not think that we can provide. And so it is fun to be able to correct that for them.
Right. Yeah. And I know, and it seems like when you kind of drive around and you see some of these commercial projects going on, Northrim Banks side.
Yeah.
So, it's cool to see obviously Northrim grow and be part of that. But how do you guys capture these massive projects? Like you said, it's kind of being one of the smaller as far as employee banks go, but you guys seem to kind of have your hand on just about most of the major projects within Alaska.
Yeah, I think part of that comes from we have really involved employees, so they're sitting on different boards. They're involved in their communities in many different ways, and so that those relationships are what's important for us, and we're building those relationships over time. And so and then we can be competitive, and we are with every customer that we work with or business deal that we're looking to be part of. We want to be flexible. We're responsive, and we're looking to provide the best value to the customer.
Right.
And so those are key components that we take internally as we consider each deal. So yeah. And for us too, we are really excited to be part of things that are happening across the state too. So there's all kinds of growth that's happening in communities all across Alaska, and when we get to be part of that, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, kind of put your stamp on it, right, and be like, hey, we help build and create this. Like, that's always a cool feeling.
And it's just it's really what that means too for us is like we don't have to have a branch, but we can still have a presence, and we can still be helpful. And we want to be known as Alaska's community bank. And so I think we're well on our way.
No, I fully agree. Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah. As far as anything kind of up and coming, like super exciting that you can say.
It's always about what you can say and what you can't say. Yeah. So, when we enter new communities, we like to do it by opening these lending offices first. And so we have the Kodiak lending office. And then, just about to open is our Nome lending office. And those are probably where we're going to focus our efforts, most immediately in 2022. And then we'll see after that, where else we go.
Yeah. I'm excited. Just been, just obviously just having Yana on board, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like understanding kind of the back end and watching her position grow, but and the kind of understanding like the bank growing,
Yeah.
right? And then, but you also see it on the consumer side as well.
Yeah.
And one thing I just never got in my previous institution was to be able to like walk in to a branch and people were like, "Oh, Mr. Millett, nice to see you again." Da, 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 da. I'm like, this is so refreshing.
It's pretty cool, to be able to be connected to the community in that way and to be able to greet our customers that way and know them. And we really strive to know what is best for our customers. And you're in a unique position, right? Because you see some from the inside and some from the outside, some as a consumer and some as a business, which I think is telling for many of us in Alaska. We're all interconnected and related. And so, we're looking to grow those relationships wherever, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm intrigued to know how Northrim looks through your eyes as your spouse works there, right?
Well, like I said, initially I didn't have an option, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
So, but it's been phenomenal. Now, anytime asked me, it's like, "Hey, what's a good business bank?" I'm like, "Northrim Bank, 100%." Right?
Well, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, because Maya is the branch manager for the downtown branch, and so that's who I've been working with, and she is
Maya's a rock star.
amazing.
Yeah.
So shout out to Maya.
Yep.
You're
absolutely.
amazing, but she knows that. And so I send people to her all the time, and they have, "Oh my God, Justin, thank you so much for sending me to Northrim. Maya's been amazing." Da 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 da. Like, but no matter what branch I go to, the service has been impeccable.
Well, that's great.
So
that's really great. I'm glad to hear that, and that's
Right.
really what we strive,
Right.
to coach, right? So
even though I got forced to Northrim, just because my spouse works there, but
sure.
it's been awesome. I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much for signing up, working for Northrim."
Yeah.
So,
It's great. It's not only a great organization within our community, but it's a really great place to work and to be part of. I think I said I recently celebrated my 5-year anniversary there, and it's just gone by so fast, you know. And it's a really they value their employees and a work-life balance, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as we kind of wrap up, is there anybody you want to kind of give a shout out to?
Well, I would
give a little plug.
Right. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of my team that's holding down the fort so I could be here today, right? We are a small but mighty little marketing team. So that, and then, I think just all of the Northrim employees, I'm glad that I can be here to kind of give a shout out to all of them and to our communities.
Well, awesome. It's great having you on. I really do appreciate you coming on and making time to come on and kind of like give the story of Northrim Bank, all the stuff you guys are doing. And
well, thanks so much for having us.
I look forward to more hockey games.
You bet.
So awesome.
All right,
well, thanks, Kari.
Justin.
Appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys.